Hey everybody and welcome. Well, you're right, it's time for a new video. We're going to be working in Maya and we're going to do a subscriber request today, which is how to model a kid's sled, right? It's that season again, so here we go. This video has been sponsored by Bloop Animation. If you want to learn 2D or 3D animation, the principles of any animation, storyboarding foundations, or even how to create an entire animated movie, then just follow the link in the description and you will get a begin-to-end course while supporting my channel at no extra expense to you. Alright guys, so we're in Maya 2019, let's get started. So what I'm going to do first is basically create these sections that are going to be touching the snow. We'll do that. We'll take a polygon cube, we'll hit R to scale it out quite a bit. Make it nice and flat, and there you go, and then maybe something like that. Now in order for us to bend this properly, we need some subdivision, right? So we're going to go in here, we're going to go to tubes, into Edgeloop, option box, we'll set to 8 since that's the last I used, which is okay. So that should work. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set this to, let's do it to multiple and 1, and I'll explain that in a sec. By doing that, whenever I click in a section, it will make one exactly in the middle. And here's where I want the bend, so I'm going to add a little bit, right? Like so, maybe one more. And then here, if I go in here and put one there, and then let's say one here, and one here, I can tweak that size at the end there as well, right? Okay, we're going to Q on the keyboard, we're going to go to object mode, we're going to go to Deform Nonlinear and Bend. We're going to hit E to rotate the bend handle, hold down J and flip it down like so. And then we're going to hit Control A to open up the attribute editor. We're going to go to our curvature here. Let's see if it's bending properly. It is, but I only want the end there to bend like that, right? So let's see how this is working. I think the overall bend is okay. We just might want to make it a bit longer, right? Which is fine. So yeah, let's do that. We're going to right click and go to Vertex, jump to the top. Drag like this, hit W to move that, hold down X so we can snap it a couple of times until I'm happy with the overall proportions. And I don't need a lot of additional subdivision in that end there over there, so I think that's okay. Let's see, maybe, yeah, maybe like that. So hold on X, snap it, there you go. All right, so we got that. What we're going to do next is we're going to go up to Edit, Delete by Type and History. So we can get rid of that curve there, and that's gone as you can see now in our outliner, right? Then what we're going to do is we're going to Control D to duplicate, W to move over, and let's look at the overall width. I think that would be about right. Keep in mind that the sitting area will be in between, so we might need to adjust that later, but we'll see. Drag select both. Control G to group, go to modify and center pivot. So now we can align that by hitting W, holding down X, and snapping that to the center of our grid, like so, right? Okay, so now that we have that, let's take it from there. We need something to carry the seating area, right? So for that, we'll take a polygon cube. We're gonna hit R, we're gonna kind of pull that out like so. And let me just think, let's see, maybe a bit more thickness there. That would be about right. We're going to hit W, we're going to raise that up like so. Let's just make sure we're not cutting into anything here like that. We're going to right click and get a vertex, drag select. Let's push that up. Hold down X while we do that. And we're going to kind of focus on where this guy's ending right here. And again, we might need to adjust that later on, right? Okay, so now that we have that, what we're going to do next is we're going to hit R. We're going to bring that in. Oops, not in vertex mode, the whole thing. Let's bring that in like that, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to position that on one of these guys, like so. Make sure it's a good fit. Have to frame that. Hard to bring it in, just a little, right? Then we're going to go in here, after frame again. Let's go to Insert Edgeloop, option box. Let's set that to single, right? So we can go in here and put one in here. Let's see, we'll do one about there. Okay, close that, Q on the keyboard, copy this guy, Control D to duplicate, W to move over. After frame, push that in here as before. And we're going to need two of those, right? Or two sets. But let me complete the bridge first, all right? So I got one, I got two. Let's go to Mesh and Combine, right? I'm going to go in here, take that face, delete it. Take that face, delete it. Double click on this edge, Shift double click on this edge, and go to Edit Mesh, Bridge, option box. I want a linear path, but I want, let's see, yeah, 7 subdivisions will be fine. And let's hit Bridge. Okay, there you go. Now the reason why I'm doing it that way is I can now go in and tweak how that is looking. So I'm going to go in here, let's hit 4 for wireframe mode, and I'm going to right click, go to Vertex, and I'm going to drag, select these guys, hit W, push that up like this, skip one, both ends, push that up again, do that one more time, and maybe the one in the middle, just to get some clearance on the bottom there, right? Okay, so now that we have this, and let's see whether the overall thickness, that's maybe a bit much, so let's just hit R and push it back a little, like this. That'd be good. We're gonna move this one to a little bit to the end there, not all the way, but quite a bit. Basically somewhere around here. And then we're gonna hit Control D to duplicate again. We'll move one forward, and I would say maybe here. I think that would work, right? Okay, so far so good. Now we need to have a couple of vertical cylinders to hold everything in place. So let's take a cylinder. Let's not go crazy on subdivision here. Let's say, I don't know, 12 should be fine. And caps wise, yeah, we'll leave that in. So I'm gonna jump in here and I'm gonna position this. Let's hit 4. Position this, I would say somewhere around here. After frame, that's where I want to be, right? And let's get that kind of in the middle of this guy right here. It's a bit thick, so let's bring it in like so. And once you're happy with the position, and let's check on the height as well. So we're gonna bring that up here and then have a look from this view. After frame, right click on a vertex, drag select, right? And I'm just gonna take a little bit of distance here so I get a better idea of where we're at. This should be about right. Okay, Control D to duplicate. We're gonna W to move that forward. Make sure that one's in position as well. Like this. Then we're going to go in here, we're going to take both, Control D to duplicate, W to move over, after frame, so we can see what's going on. Let's hit 5 so we can see it a bit better. Let's see, we'll do it from this angle right here. Makes more sense. All right, so we're going to go with that. Alrighty, and if you're not sure about the position, just drag all of them, hit Control G to group, go to Modify and Center Pivot, which always helps. Go to the top there, and well, I'm just gonna hit W to move it and hold on X, so it's snapping here so I know that it's centered from that point of view, and then push it back. All right? Okay. So now that we have that, next thing we're going to do is we're going to put in some flat sections for the sled itself, right? So we're going to take another polygon cube. Let's hit R to pull that out, make it flat, and so forth. W to push it up, so that's going to be the area that we want it. And we're going to go with, let's say, 4 in total, right? So we kind of need to level that out a little bit. So that would be something like this, and then I want them to stick on the front, and that needs to align with what we already have. So I'm going to right click, go to Vertex, drag select, W. That's going to be about here, I would say. Maybe back just a little. I'll explain in a second why, right? And then in the back there, excuse me, in the back, I want that to kind of be modeled in a certain pattern, but we'll deal with that in a second, right? So this should be about right. I'm going to take this guy, we're going to go to Insert Edgeloop, option box. Let's go with 3 right now. And there you go, right? And then I'm going to hit Q on my keyboard. I'm going to take this guy, Control D to duplicate, W to move. Have a little opening there. And then hit Shift D and Shift D. So I got 4. Control G to group. We're going to go to Modify and Center Pivot. We're going to hit W to move it. We're going to hold on X, so on the center there again. And then we need to make sure that this is sitting within the dimensions of our cylinders, right? Now, first of all, I'm going to make it a bit thinner. I'm going to hit W, move it down a little bit. All right, that looks okay. And let's see, now we can basically take these guys and get them in closer. And these as well. All right. Now the front, like I said, that's going to be inside of a square piece here. So I'll take another cube. I'm going to hit R and pull that out. Give it some thickness from this end. Pull it out a little bit. And we're going to hit W. We're going to bring that in here. It's going to be about there, I would say. Let's bring it down a little bit. It's okay to stick out a little, but not too much, right? What we're going to do is we're going to hit W. We're going to bring that up like so. And the idea here is that that is going to be sticking in there. And let's bring that in just a little bit like so. That looks right. And then, yep, let's see, that's okay. And then what we can do is we can bring these in if you like. So just going to go with mesh and combine here. So I can now go into the top, hit 4 for wireframe mode, right click, go to vertex, direct click these guys, and make sure that they're not cutting into that frame, right? Okay, let's just go back a little bit so it's actually touching. All right, so we got that. That looks all right. Now we need to have the seating area. So basically, so you don't fall off the sled, if you know what I mean. And for that, what we'll do is we will take a polygon pipe. I'm going to pull that up. We're going to hit R to scale that out quite a bit. And initially, I'm going to focus on what will fit between those cylinders. So I'm going to hit W and move it over here. That's kind of going to be my guideline here. So scale it down a little. Now I want the thickness to be very thin, so 0.025 maybe, 0.04. Let's see what will work. 0.07. I think we're getting there. 0.09. I think that's going to be it, right? So 0.09, that should be all right. And like I said, inside of those guys, and then we're going to go in here. We're going to get a face. We're going to drag, select. We're going to delete all that. And let's see what we got here. Now, I want a couple of these, right? So I'm going to go in here, and we're going to hit R. We're going to bring that way down. I would say like so. And hit W to move that down. And that would be about right. I think we need to bring it forward a little bit. So overall, that wouldn't be too bad. Let's see if it's sitting inside our cylinders. Okay. Let's have a closer look. By moving it forward, I changed that a little bit, as you can see. So let's go back a little bit. And we're going to go to modify and center pivot. Yeah, so I know I'm in the middle here, which means that we need to adjust this a little bit. Let me try that again. I think when I moved the other one forward, that one didn't come along or something. Okay, so we got that. Let's have a look. I think that looks fine. Now I want one more later on, but first we're going to extend this guy. So we're going to go in here to edge. We're going to double click. We're going to shift double click. Let's hit the Control E to extrude. Let's hit the W to move forward. And move forward to, I would say, about there, right? Okay. Then we're going to go in here. We're going to double click on this guy. We're going to go to mesh and I'm always looking for this one. Where is it? Where's my fill? Fill hole. All right. Double click. G to repeat last command. And just to make things look better, we're going to go in here to enter the Edgeloop, which is set to 3. So we'll do 3 there and 3 there. And then I'll set it to multiple and 1. So I can go in here and put one in there, there, and there, and there. The other side as well. There you go. Close that down. We're going to go in here, we're going to take this guy, Control D to duplicate, W to move up. And let's see, that would be about right. Okay, and then we're going to take these guys. Let's go to mesh and combine. So we can go in here and we can right click and go to vertex, drag select these guys. And at the very least, they need to be almost at the top there. So let's do something like that, right? All right, so almost there. What I want is for these square boards at the end there to be a bit more aligned, right? These guys. So we're gonna go up to the top here. And I'm gonna right click and go to vertex. Just on this, come on. Vertex, right? And what I'm going to do is drag select 1 and 1. Let's basically bring that into about there, and then we're going to repeat that process until we're following that curve, right, as best we can. So one more. There we go. Just to make it look a little bit better, right? And then I'm going to go in here. All right, let's see how that looks. So it's rounded right there. That looks okay. Proportion wise, the only thing that I would want to do here is maybe make this a bit thicker, just to give it a bit more body, right? So I think that looks all right. So yeah, basically that's it, guys. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Still a lot of fun to do though, and yeah, I think it's seasonally appropriate. So yeah, why not? So have fun with this little modeling video. If you got any questions, let me know as always, and thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.